Welcome to day number 2 of Ancient Inheritance. This installment will be somewhat of a what not to do because I did this before I had coffee and boy did I make some goofs. Anyway, both of the wardens have been defeated, so the teleport has turned blue, allowing us to access the northern island. Now, on the teleport screen, you will be able to see the landmasses a little bit easier. They lightened it a little bit, but you still can't click on the notes. The notes are still a good way to guide people to a specific teleport, because if you only put it on one, that's visible, but unfortunately you can't read the notes quite yet. So we'll teleport to the northern island. Now, I'm on the blue team, and the pathing that I've chosen for our guild this time looks like this. You can use this pathing if you want. I'll link it in the description, or you can make your own. There'll also be blank maps linked in the description for this floor, and as well as a little bit of floor number 2. So I'm going to work my way north, grab an XP book, and it looks like there's a relic shrine up here. Now here's the first screw up of the day. Before you use a relic shrine, check your hero information and make sure you have room for a relic, or you might find a really nice one like this 4-leaf clover. And I was looking forward to using the 4-leaf clover, but I don't have a spot for it, and I don't really want to give up my class boosting book, and I don't want to give up old nib, so all I did was waste a whole bunch of provisions opening up a relic shrine and not being able to take anything out of it. And unfortunately, when you cancel out and quit the shrine, it turns off its usage. You can't go back and get it later. So that was a little bit disappointing and a big waste of 5 provisions. The second big oof of the day is I went up here to collect this Soul Weaver statue and didn't pay very good attention to it because it's not a Soul Weaver statue, it's a mage statue. So I now have an extra class enhancement in mages that I didn't want, and that's a whopping 10 provisions that I've wasted so far on things that I didn't need. Well, I did pick up that mage relic, so who knows, maybe I'll actually build mages now and try to make something useful out of it. I used the scroll. Luckily I have built up my warriors a bit so I can grab this middle one. And that puts me down to 26 provisions. That's going to cut it close to hit this mini boss and get up to the warden. Now this mini boss is actually a pretty easy one. His gimmicks are that he gets stackable attack and speed, so he moves faster, hits harder. At the end of each turn, he reduces healing amount, so it's going to be hard to out-sustain him even with a good healer. He puts bleeds on everybody, and then his ultimate skill detonates those bleeds. Or not bleeds, burns. He puts burns on everybody and detonates the burns. And like just about every other Ancient Inheritance boss, every time you take a turn, he self-CR pushes. So long story short, no real impressive mechanics, just burst them down as quickly as possible. And when it comes to bursting things down as quickly as possible, I like to go with this team. Luna is a powerful single target DPS. I got Sinful Angelica for dual attacks, and she has a cleanse in her S3. I picked up Achades because she is a really good cleanser, and Kitty Clarissa for dual attacks and more cleansing. This should help keep the burns off of me and let me do a lot of damage. Sinful Angelica I put on Prophetic Candlestick to try to cycle her skills faster so she can get her immortality and cleanse up again. Kitty Clarissa I still have on Sigrid Scythe from doing Abyss. I'll just leave that in place. Luna I have on Jacko's Symbol, probably the best DPS warrior artifact out there for burst damage. And Achades I forgot to put an artifact on because, again, this is the what not to do episode. So very straightforward fight. Start off by activating Sinful Angelica to get her dual attacks up, activating Kitty Clarissa to get her dual attacks up, and I don't want to waste Achades S3 because I haven't taken any real damage yet, so I'm just going to use her S2. It's only 1 burn, so I'll just use her S2 here.
Ridiculous.
Now Luna has a defense break on her S3. Let's see if we can stick it. I'm doing pretty good damage there. I wonder if I can clear this. So I just need to get a bunch of 5 hits off of Luna. I'm getting a bunch of 4 hits. Her S1 can either strike with the spear 3, 4, or 5 times. Okay, burns are stacking up. I'll cleanse those off and heal. Always soulburn Luna when you get a chance. It guarantees the 5 hit.
I want to rest. Clarissa wants to play. Meow. Here. Meow. I'm on my way.
Okay, so the boss's ultimate is ready, so he's going to detonate the burns that are on Kitty and Luna when he takes a turn, but everybody's health is pretty high. Oh, Singelica is going to use her S3. That will get rid of the burns. That's convenient. The speed buff is also really nice for this, especially when you're fighting against the self-CR push of the boss.
Don't worry.
No burns to detonate, so it didn't do much. See if I can stick that defense break again. Ah, resisted. 15%. I'm going to save Akades S2 just in case we pick up some burns on this next hit. We're about 1/3 of the way through the boss's health bar. So I'm going to speed this fight up a little bit because I think you get the swing of how it's going to go. My healing is going to do less and less restoration, and the boss is going to do more and more damage. In fact, I get to the point here where when Akades does her S3, it doesn't heal anybody at all. So now I'm at the point where healing does absolutely nothing. It just wastes the skill, so I might as well turn my Akades into a damage dealer. I put the gold shield on Luna hoping it would protect her, but the boss stripped it, and I got really close to a full clear, but didn't quite do it. But that's okay. Leaves a little meat on the bone for somebody else in the guild to come along and get the kill bonus, and it frees me up to move on towards the priest. So I left it with about 19.5k health. That's too bad. That's like one soulburned S1 off Luna, and we would have finished. Okay, so man, not only did I waste provisions on the relic and the statue, I could have gone around the other direction, saved some steps as well. I've only got 9 steps left. Oh, this is terrible. It takes 7 provisions to attack the priest, and I'm going to end with 3. So either one of those mistakes I made cost me the ability to attack the priest, and I had a team ready and everything. So unfortunately, I don't get to do the priest fight today. So that ends a very disappointing day 2 walkthrough for me. I'll go ahead and splice in some footage of the Temple Zone 1 priest fight from last season. It's the exact same fight, so you can use the same teams. Hopefully that's helpful to you. I'll put a list of good priest fight teams in the description of the video to help you with this fight. If you have any questions about this, hit me up in the comment section, and I'll do my best to answer them. And I'm going to go get some coffee. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Here's your priest fight. Luckily, a guildmate allowed me to record his fight so I can show you the ins and outs of the priest Kakul's fight. He didn't have a lot of units to choose from. Akades was already dead, so we had to use Momo. Luna is a good DPS for this. Helga brings a lot of debuffs. You do want to stick debuffs on the boss. If the boss doesn't have enough debuffs on it, when it does its ultimate, it will pretty much wipe your team guaranteed. So unfortunately, we didn't have any warriors or DPS units left other than Apocalypse Ravi, and we didn't have any more space to draft anyone else. So I'm not particularly thrilled with this team because we're really starved for debuffs. We're relying on basically Helga and our artifacts. We did put the Cradle of Knowledge artifact on the warriors to try to proc some extra debuffs. You can see with Helga, we did get 3 debuffs right out of the gate, so if we're able to maintain that, we should be okay. Helga's S3 will give attack buff to everybody, and also an effectiveness buff, making it easier to stick those all-important debuffs. Now, one nice thing about the boss fight is right below the health bar, it gives you a road map to what the boss is going to do every single fight. So you can click on the skills and read what's coming and prepare your next attack for it. So we got 3 debuffs and a counter from Aravi. Unfortunately, we lost most of our debuffs in that round, and I'm not sure we'll be able to get them back in time for the big hit. Burning Luna for the extra damage. We got a real nice continuous healing buff out of Momo. That hit hurt. We got a poison attack coming next round. Since we have the defense break, we'll go ahead and burn Luna for extra damage. And let's cleanse off those attack downs. We only got 2 debuffs and one of them cleansed, so we're really starved for debuffs going into this big hit phase. Cleanse off the poisons. I can't even defense break here. Go ahead and heal up one more time, and unfortunately we didn't have any debuffs on, so when he did that 5th skill, it wiped my party. But I tell you what, it's another 250,000 damage run with a suboptimal team. I think if our front unit instead of Aravi had been a unit that dropped constant debuffs on the boss, we would have been in a much better shape and probably could have pushed an extra 100k damage onto this fight at the very least. So I hope this this walkthrough of day 1 helps you with your Ancient Inheritance. If you have any questions, please ask them in the comments section, and if you enjoyed the video, think about giving me a like, maybe even a subscribe. Have a great day.